In this video dated March 17th, 2014, we're going to demonstrate the recent changes to the SMOTGO website, the March updates. Let's go ahead and log into the demo account. What we've been doing over the last couple weeks is trying to consolidate things, get more onto a single page so there's less jumping around from page to page. And the two main pages have been the customers and the vehicles pages. Let's go ahead and start with the customers page. Now, everything on the customers page is everything that was also on the vehicles page before. So we now have all the vehicle related information on the customers page as well. Let's go ahead and start by going to my favorite customer, Sarah Dakota. And let's go ahead and pick Sarah. And you'll see our vehicles are down here. Let's go ahead and pick that vehicle. And you can see all the vehicle information showed up down here. We can go into the vehicle documents, specifications, the recommendations. And from here we can actually add parts and labor to these recommendations. We can add a saved job. Let's go ahead and add this saved job and add this one. Now remember, as you add them, it combines the saved jobs. If you want to get rid of what's there and copy it over, then you would just use copy over current job. And you could see it got rid of all the other parts and added the parts from that saved job. And then let's go look at job history. There's all the jobs that have been done on this car. If we want to search, we can just type in and that'll give us all the jobs that had the word check in it. If you want to search for a part number, you can type that part number in. Go ahead and clear that out. Let me find part number that's actually in here. Just copy that. Back up here to search. Just type that part number in there. And you can see that it showed us that job. So you can search with the keywords. You can use a description of the part, description of the job, description of the labor, the part number to help you find the job in history. Quick view, well, you already have the parts and labor here, but a quick view will just combine everything from the issue to the solution to the parts and the labor. But again, this is all on the customers page without navigating over to the vehicle or the vehicles page anymore. History. This is all the invoices. Now, from here you will have to open the invoice if you want to get any more information about that. Before it was jump to the invoice, which would put it in this window. So again, I'm trying to get away from the jumping around on the same page. We could open that invoice and we could take a look at that whole invoice. The only thing additional here really is the additional charges. The job's already on the vehicles and the customers page. So the only real need to jump here is to see the additional charges, because you can have all these actions are already here from the customers page. Invoices. These are current invoices for this vehicle. The same customer information is still here. So now let's go over to the vehicles page. And the vehicles page is very similar now to the customers page, only it's kind of ordered in the other direction, meaning the vehicle is at the top and then all the other information is beneath it. So let's pick our Sarah Dakota And we have all our vehicle information, and we can work on our recommendations. We can take a look at our job history from here. This is all pretty much on the vehicles page before, but now we have is the customer's information as well. We could edit the customer. So we cannot add it. We could edit the customer from here. We can email the customer from here. And now we have all that customer information below the customer now that we've selected it, just like on the customer's page. The email, ledger, invoices, appointments, quick quotes, all for the customer. Again, from here we can work on recommendations, search job history. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next change, and that is to the help system. In case you weren't aware, up here in the right hand corner is a help link, and it'll open up a video, YouTube video, that is directly related to this page. It'll give you a link to all the YouTube videos, and now we've created this index down here, and it will take you right to the video and the start time of that part of the video. So let's say you want to figure out how to do the logo on your invoices. Just click on that. It'll open up the YouTube video, and it'll take us right to the part in the video that deals with the logo. Pause that. And again, all these links will take you right to the spot in the video where you need to go, so you don't have to go fast forwarding through the video to try to find it. I want to do a quick review of the different types of parts. There's essentially 3 different types of parts. There's miscellaneous parts, and those are parts that you add to maybe 1 or 2 invoices that you don't want to keep information in your parts list about. The next is a non-stock item, and that's an item that you keep in your inventory list, but it's not one that you stock or have a minimum set. And then of course there's stocking items, and that's the items that you keep or parts you keep in your physical location. Let's go ahead and go into this invoice. So go ahead and click Add Part. Let's just type in our miscellaneous part. Just copy this, paste it in there, and then save that. So this part is only on this invoice. We don't have it in our inventory. We don't stock it. Again, this is a part we're only maybe going to sell one time. There's no need to put it in our inventory list. Let's go ahead and add this miscellaneous part to a purchase order, as we'll be demonstrating something with this just a little while. Let's just go ahead, create a new one. Just pick the first supplier, call it test. And we'll save that. So that part was just added to a purchase order. Let's go ahead over now to inventory. Let's take a look at some of our parts. So a stocking item would be this one. We have 8 in stock. We want to keep a minimum of 2. So that's a stocking item, pretty straightforward. And then a non-stock item. That would be some of these where we have an in stock of 0 and a minimum of 0, where we're just keeping this information in our parts list. Maybe we sell one of these every few weeks and we order them on an as-needed basis, but we want to keep the information so we don't have to type any of this over and over again. Let's go over here to purchase orders. And here's that purchase order we just created. Now we've added a set minimum field here. This is a miscellaneous part. If you process this item with either the quantity to inventory or set minimum, anything above 0, this part is going to be added to our inventory. If these are 0 and 0, it's going to leave that alone. It's just going to process it through. But if you want this part going into your inventory list, either as a stock part or non-stock part, you set these quantity to inventory or minimum above 0, and it will add the part to your inventory. Let's go ahead and show this in the datasheet view so that we can edit the information right here. And we're going to set the quantity on this to 1 and the minimum on this to 1. And we're going to save it. And now we're going to process it. Just going to put a quick number in there. So that part was added to our inventory. We'll go over here to our history, and we can see there's our miscellaneous part. Go over here and go back to inventory. Type in and there it is. And you could see before it was not in inventory based on the numbers that showed up on that invoice, but we now have an in stock of 1 and a minimum of 1. Now maybe you don't want to set the minimum, you would just leave that field on the purchase order at 0 or NA. Maybe you just want to set a minimum but you don't want to put that one in stock, then you would just make it 0 and 1 or 0 and 2. Now let's go back over to the invoice that we were in. Let's change the status to delivered. Let's go ahead and process the invoices. And let's go back to that part. Now you can see there's still 1 and 1. There's still 1 in stock. The inventory was not reduced, but some people have been confused. They said, but that part was on that invoice that we just processed through. Well, we put that part on that invoice as a miscellaneous part. The system then added it to inventory when we processed the purchase order. So it has no way of knowing. There's no link between the part that you put on the invoice and the part that was processed into our inventory. So that number is not going to be reduced because there's no connection between those two parts. They basically just had the same part number, but since it was added to the invoice first and it wasn't added from inventory, it's not going to affect the stock. Now, if we added the part from stock to another invoice now, process the invoice through, that in stock is going to be reduced. Now, while we're on the subject of part sales history, let's go ahead and clear this out. And let's find a part that we have sold. And there you go. The sales history of this part, we got it all down here. Now, maybe you want to see how much labor we charged when we put that part in, or what the description of the job was. Rather than jumping or opening the job, we now have this quick view. You can very quickly see the issue, the solution, the parts, and the labor for that job. And we could just keep going right down here and checking those out. And you could see that each one of these quick views is associated with each one of these jobs from history. Now earlier I talked about the opening rather than jumping around this page. So let's say we open this customer. You can see the customer's information opens in this new page, in the customer's page. And if you want to clear out this customer, it's actually being filtered by this ID right here. So you could clear that out, and that will bring all your customers back. Or you can just go here to customers and click on the link customers, and that will bring you back all your customers. And that concludes the video for the March 2014 updates.